What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown Media. My name is Zach from Another Letdown, and this is Difficult Video Game Podcast. I'll be one of your hosts this evening, and joining me on the line is my good buddy, my perennial painting partner, and our resident monkey handler, Mr. Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going?
It's going great. Glad to be here tonight.
Me too, man. It's been a long week, and it's nice to finally... I finally feel like I'm on vacation, man. I'm relaxed. I'm about to paint some minis. It's going to be great. This is the show where we hang out and work through our ridiculous backlog of miniatures that need to be painted, and just have some fun chit-chat as we go. As with all the shows that we host here on the Another Letdown channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. So, shall we get down to painting some minis?
I guess we shall.
All right. What do you got on the docket tonight?
Today I've got the set of Droidekas from Star Wars Legion that came in the Clone Wars core set.
Nice.
So yeah, they come in squads of 2, and there were 2 squads in the set.
I love how one of them's like folded up in a ball, and the other one's like, I'm ready to go.
Yep. It's how you denote like the leader of the squad of 2.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Like the leader is deployed and ready to go. But I guess either that or they potentially just wanted you to be able to be like, oh, they're balled up, and you just swap between the 2. I don't know exactly. I haven't gotten to actually play with the Clone Wars stuff yet.
Gotcha. So from where we left off last week, I have these Owls with Katanas that I was working on from the Court of Owls, the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman run. One of my favorite comic book series of all time. So I'm very excited to finish those up. And then if we get those done, which I believe we will, I got some more owls. I've got owls with guns and tuxedos. And if they get those done, I've even got more. So yay. Some pretty easy stuff on the docket tonight for me. So welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and because I know we do. And let's have some fun. So, I picked up the hiccups. I picked up the first volume of the IDW Turtles today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just decided it was high time that I give that a reread.
Change is constant?
Yeah, change is constant. I mean, we, as is pretty well documented, I think at this point, we've been playing a lot of Adventures Universal Game System, specifically the Turtle stuff, and I know the stories, just because of my proximity with the Turtles and whatnot, but I was like, I should probably revisit this because I don't remember all the details. I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot that Old Hob is in the first panel.
Yeah, immediately hey, he's here, deal with him.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna see what happens here. I had a few ideas as to how to paint these guys, but I don't know that I love them. I'm starting out with just some edging of white on the robes. I think it'll be okay this way. We're gonna get some dry brush in there too, that'll help. So I've been playing a lot of 30XX this week.
Yeah?
In preparation.
Is that all on Steam?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as far as I know.
20XX for Xbox, and when you said that it was out, I looked at it and couldn't find it on Xbox, so I was like, I guess it's just Steam right now. Gotcha.
Oh, that's okay, RPD. I kind of did it without you. Or no, you were doing the beach one, so that's not necessary for another couple of weeks. So don't worry about it. I will say the temple we did, or the run we did this past week went super well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so it's in Steam Early Access.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe Adam and I are planning on streaming that on Wednesday this coming week, around this time of night. Because, like I said, I'm on vacation, man. I can do that. I can stay up a little bit later if I want to. And it feels good. Yeah, I think I'm okay with how this is coming out. I don't love it. Speaking of things that went well, good job showing the first Evil just how much of a beta test it really was. Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun game, though. The fact that it, like, we were talking about it after the show, you know, it, you know, we were looking at a pretty crazy progression, like, you know, when it went from, like, this is a pushover to, oh god, we're about to die. That was a pretty crazy swing, and we were all pretty happy with it. Although I gotta say, Greg needs to learn to rein in his hubris.
Yeah, that game was really fun. I was very glad to be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
I'm
also getting to do something I don't normally do. Because I know we kind of said pick our go-tos, but I kind of asked Casey before coming in, like, who should I play as, and she said Spike. And pretty much the entire time that we've been playing, I've been doing support characters and trying to keep track of, like, rescuing townies and making sure the wound track was not about to die or anything else like that.
Yeah.
And like, and so I've never gotten to be like the frontline brawler, fight 'em up thing. And getting a chance to on the final level was really fun.
I'm trying to recall if I ever was a frontline fighter. I don't know that I was. Obviously, I played Willow a lot. I played Riley once or twice. I think I played Anya once. But I was pretty much just support also. I mean, the fact that we had, you know, Jacqueline pretty much always Faith or Dawn, like, allowed us a little bit more freedom in terms of what we needed to be doing. Or rather, it made the decision kind of for us, which was fine. I have no problem with that. Quite honestly, it helps me to be able to focus a little bit. I like that by the end of that game, we were kind of like, okay, we know what to expect from this.
And then we didn't.
Well, yeah. But, like, in terms of, you know, initial expectations, setup and whatnot, you know,
yeah.
we were able to say, okay, this game is going to do X, Y, and Z to us. We know how to, at this point, we know how to handle that. And yeah, it does. It means RPD's correct predictions as to how Buffy would go are entirely intact. We would get rollicked by the Master and then figure everything out and then smash everything else. My friend Eric just bought the game. And he said that he had no trouble with the Master at all. And I was like, that probably means you're playing it wrong.
I was about to say, when me and Casey did our first go through, like, we actually didn't have that much of a problem with the Master either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Now, guaranteed, we were just playing, like, we got the game when it was just that game, not with the Friends and Frenemies expansion. So, like, when we were doing it on stream and playing and getting stomped by the military actions and stuff, like, that was a completely different ballgame than when it was just me and Casey. And I think we were playing Buffy and Spike.
Yeah, and I think that's what Eric did also, is I don't think he had the expansion content in play because I think he's going for a more thematic approach, like these characters are available in this mission sort of approach. And none of the Friends and Frenemies content would be active at this point in the game. Or in the story, rather. I am finally almost done with my Buffy rewatch.
Nice.
Yeah. The arrival, the timely arrival of the Welcome Back Kotter DVDs and WandaVision and such, and the return of things like Taskmaster and 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown kind of put me off Buffy for a while. Speaking of smashing things, a great sentence. I smashed the fourth palace of Persona 5, put the spirits of waifus what passed to rest, and saved the waifu of the present, and recruited Alex so he also survived. Nice! That was so funny when I was laughing so hard when you texted me that, RPD. He found a baboon in Persona 4? Persona 5, sorry, 5.
Nice.
And he's like, look, Alex made an appearance. I was like, yes, he did. The number of times that I've found, like, random reference to a baboon and been like, Alex, are they talking about your family? He gets so mad at me. Alright. As bright as this is, I think this is what the robes are going to look like. And I'm not overtly thrilled with it. Yeah. I'm not thrilled about it. But I don't hate it. Oh, Wisebot, for real. RPD, you're gonna have to step up your game, bro. Wisebot's got you beat. Yeah, one of the enemies in the Pyramid of Wrath in P5 is chanting baboon. I love it. I am going to flip over this piece of paper so I have more space to work.
So there's not a lot of color variation on these Dorticas, but I'm starting with Balthazar Gold for their outsides.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It's a good bronzy color.
Now, see, I would have taken a different approach on that.
Yeah?
I would have done them brown.
Not done a metallic type color?
Yeah. Well, I at least not for the base coat. I would have done it much like I do, like a gold, where you put down the Averland Sunset first.
Mm-hmm.
What's even funny is the chanting baboons are... Oh, hold on, RPD. Actually talking paint content for a minute. Yeah, I think that's how I would have approached that. Maybe I'm wrong, but... I do like Balthazar Gold, though.
Yeah. I'm also being a little liberal with it.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm going to go over certain spots with lead belcher when I'm done. So, like, if I accidentally slap some gold on where I don't want it, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I'll think over it with another metallic, so... This brush is about at it, too.
Yeah, I'm starting to regret not picking up some new brushes today.
I was about to say, I got a set for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
haven't broken into yet. But I still have a few, but like this one is like a big, thick wide brush, which is really good for like base coating. But you can see how like it's nowhere near a point anymore.
Yeah. I'll show you my base coat brush in just a second. It's a nightmare. I gotta have my boss order some new ones. RPD says that what's even funnier is that chanting baboons are actually the highest level enemy in the entire dungeon. Oh my god! That's fantastic. Hey, Mist. You sure about that? Yeah, from the side, they definitely don't look owly at all. But that's kind of good, though, too, because, like, if I ever need generic samurai, I can pull out a Court of Owls member and be perfectly happy with it. I like, I was talking about this when we did the Hazmat Thugs a couple weeks ago, that I like that they also kind of double as aim scientists. For a little cross-system compatibility. Because I can fully expect that at some point when we're playing AUGS, we're going to need aim dummies. Oh god, my eyes just twitched like crazy. Two or three times every painting session, my eyes just twitch uncontrollably. And it makes me so nervous.
Yep. Stay open, paint pot.
Oh, it's the worst. So how are you, Miss Drake? We haven't talked to you in a while. I do appreciate that you've been backing up a lot of my opinions on Discord lately. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, I won't spoil anything, Broody, but I will tell you, I finally got my my fanboy moment on WandaVision.
Good.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with Marvel whatsoever. Oh dear.
Woolly boys.
What's wrong?
I was just saying Woolly boys.
Oh, really, boys.
I'm
Rolling.
World Up ones.
They see me rolling.
They hate it.
If it weren't for Twitch copyright striking Metallica for playing their own music,
Wait,
I would...
what?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Metallica. From what I understand, Metallica went live on their own Twitch channel, played their own music, and got DMCA struck for it.
Lovely. You'd think at like some degree, like if I'm randomly singing something that we're coming along, that it falls under like the either a fair use parody, because most of the time I'm singing it as part of a joke, or like I don't know. It just seems weird that they copyright strike a lot of this stuff.
So Miss Drake is fact checking me. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, apparently they were playing as part of BlizzCon.
Oh.
And yeah, Twitch was like, yeah, we're just gonna dub over this with, what is it? Smooth acoustic. That's an absolute riot. And I mean, okay, I appreciate Metallica as rock and roll music. You know, it's fine. Lars Ulrich is a dick. But... And I realize I should probably language myself for that, but, like, he's a... I don't like him. But I just, like... I'm interested to see where this one goes, because Metallica is the first ones to complain when someone steals their music, right? The whole, what is it, LimeWire debate?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's more than a debate,
or
I guess.
Kazaa, or whatever,
Whichever one it was, yeah. So now when they're on the other end of it, are they going to change their tune? You know? I doubt it, but... Because again, Lars Ulrich is a bad language
once
word.
Again, though, if it's a copyright strike for something of their own thing, like they do have a right to like complain about being copyright struck, at least.
Yeah.
Because it is their own thing. Like they're not out there saying like Taylor Swift shouldn't be able to use Taylor Swift stuff. Like they're saying you shouldn't be able to use my stuff like illegally downloaded or free.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be interested to see where how this whole thing plays out. Like, another problem, water absorption here.
And needless to say, they don't handle it as well as like Weird Al Yankovic, who puts up the song "Don't Download This Song" for free on like 8 places on his website.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Lars is an interesting human being. I gotta be honest.
It has to be like famous on that level,
right?
Almost.
But like, it makes me wonder with the other members of Metallica being so like seeming so chill. The bass player, especially, is Robert Trujillo. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know. They seem very, very much more chill than Lars. And it's like, how do these guys get along at this point?
They're chill,
I guess. Yeah, I kind of like nothing Metallica. Like, I listened to them a lot in high school, but like I haven't listened to them since then.
Outside of Enter Sandman, I couldn't really tell you anything that they've done.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really good cover of Turn the Page. And, like, Nothing Else Matters. There's, like, a couple of weird acoustic songs that, like, when I was learning acoustic guitar, Metallica was very helpful in that regard, because their songs are very easy. Or, like, the couple, ballads that they have, whatever, are pretty easy to learn. So it's just kind of, like, encouraging in that way. But, like, yeah, most of their stuff is just, like, whatever.
Yeah, so just washed off. That's like the tip of my brush.
Oh my goodness. I did find out today, and I'm really like I can't believe just finding this out now. The former head of Gears of War, is now the head of Diablo, the Diablo projects at Blizzard, and so I'm torn because I loved Diablo when I was a kid. I mean, freaking great game, but and I love Rod Ferguson. I think he's a great storyteller, but I don't want to install Battle.net again. Zach and Alex stay a while and listen. I don't think so, man. Alex doesn't really do that sort of thing. If anything, it would be Zach and Travis, my best friend and I. Because he and I played Diablo all the time when I was in college, and he was still in high school. That was our way of keeping, keeping in contact with each other. Oh, I gotcha. It's the guy that 4 and 5. He left. He left the coalition. At least that's how I understand it.
True.
Yeah. I have an autographed Gears 4 poster actually right above my head from Mr. Ferguson. He's a very, very nice guy.
No problem. You what?
From what my friend who has Gears as his favorite franchise has explained it to me, the guy was not great for the series, and the guy that replaced him took a lot of features that got taken out and put them back in. Okay. I thought Rod did a great job with Gears. Introducing a whole bunch of new characters and designs. Really taking a game that probably could have been laid to rest after 3 and giving it new life. I thought he was really good for the franchise. Now, granted, I'm newer to the franchise than a lot of people. I started playing it when Gears 3 came out, or shortly thereafter. Gears 3 remains my favorite, but I think 4 and 5 were great. I think they were excellent additions to the franchise. And I from what I can tell, Rod Ferguson is very proud of what he did for Gears. It's on his Twitter profile. You probably know me from blah blah blah. So I got the my quarterly store credit statement today.
Yeah.
Let's just say, oh wow. Let me put it this way. There's a copy of a very early, I'm not sure if it's Superman or Action Comics, slabbed at our store.
Mm-hmm.
And I could buy, I mean, we're talking like low triple digits, maybe even double digits, and worth well in excess of $1,000. I could buy that as well as our copy of New Mutants 98 and not even break a sweat.
That's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just got my last Ronin 2 in today.
Oh, nice. Mine's still Lost in Time and Space.
Postal Service.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine came in early because it was supposed to, like, according to the tracking, it said Monday, but
Oh,
came in
really?
early, and obviously it came in like not drastically bent, but very clearly the USPS did not handle it properly.
Yeah. Ralph
what
deals
it
with that
was.
all the time.
What?
Ralph has to deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was working, so I know their whole shipping system, like kind of like the back of my hand because I was such an important part of it for a while. The vast majority of what Ralph deals with on a daily basis is USPS screwing over customers,
Yeah.
at least on the shipping end. And once again, I find myself fighting sculpting defects. Alright. 3 down. 1 to go. But boy, the stories I could tell you from working in that basement. I'll do this one because it doesn't throw anybody else under the bus. One day, my friend Nick and I were working down there and just chit-chatting about turtles because Nick loves the Ninja Turtles more than anybody I've ever met. And all of a sudden, you know, we hear this weird rumbling like there's a subway going on, you know, going by. And there's no subway in Rochester, New Hampshire, let me tell you. There's no I don't even think there's a single subway in New Hampshire. And by subway, I mean, of course, the train, not the sandwich place. And we, like, things start falling off the walls, and Nick and I just kind of look at each other like, oh, all right, that was interesting. We go back to work, and about 20 minutes later, the power goes out. And then comes right back on, like, very, very quick blip. And we're like, wow, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? But we had so much work to do that we didn't bother to go back upstairs. Turns out there was an earthquake. And we were under the ground. Real safe place to be.
When was that?
I've been...
Was that the 2010 earthquake?
No, it was a couple of years after that.
Okay.
It was a weird, like, New England doesn't have a whole lot of, like, fault activity.
Yeah, most of the East Coast doesn't.
Right. But when it does, it's pretty noticeable usually.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't remember when it was. It's been like 2013 maybe.
Because there was one where the epicenter was in Virginia, and that was like 2010 or 11.
Yeah.
And like I felt it down here in North Carolina at the time. Like I was just working in the treatment room at the animal hospital.
Yeah.
And like our glass shells started just not shattering, but shaking and rattling.
Yeah.
And like I was like, well, what is this? And then all of a sudden, like, found out later that there was an earthquake.
Well, we're so not used to it, you know. Like we are about as accustomed to earthquakes as Texas is to ice. Yeah. And like, sorry, Texas, I know you're in really rough way right now. My aunt and uncle and my cousin and my wife's best friend are all living down there.
But yeah, it's like a once in a lifetime thing. You can't like claim for that.
Exactly.
I was teasing at work about that. So a good quippy one-liner that I threw out was everything's bigger in Texas, including the power outages.
Oof, go to bed. Like, I mean, so one of the things that we learn very quickly as teachers is, like, we have to cope with a lot. The students are all going to bring their baggage in from home, and we have to literally suspend hours and give them the best possible experience we can. And one of the ways we do that oftentimes is, unfortunately, making jokes that are just designed to get us through the day. There's a great episode of Scrubs about it where Turk makes a $20 bet with Dr. Cox about whether a patient will live or die. And Cox says, "How does that make you feel?" And then, the rest of the day, Turk is, down in the dumps, whatever. And Dr. Cox finishes the episode by saying, "Look it. If we don't make jokes and, be able to move on, we get stuck. And that is not acceptable as a physician." And the same holds true as a teacher. You have to develop these coping mechanisms. And unfortunately, the first thing I did when I heard about the situation in Texas was like, that's how it feels. Like, I posted the Loki meme. That's how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was like, I mean, it is how it feels, but also, like, we're used to it. New England has the infrastructure to handle ice and snow. Is it going to be perfect? No, but is it going to be a far cry better than what Texas is going through? Yeah, absolutely. Like, it would not be a national disaster for us.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've made the jokes about it. It's like, here in North Carolina, we don't have that infrastructure either, even though we get it a little bit more frequently than Texas. We have like 2 good snows a season.
Right.
But, like, a meteorologist just calls for half an inch of snow, and everyone rushes out and, like,
gotta buy the milk and bread.
Buys all the bread and milk. It's like, okay, great, make your bread and milk cereal or whatever, but and like, I do tease everyone about like panic buying all of that stuff, but in reality, yeah, half an inch of snow doesn't sound like a lot, but when we don't have anywhere near the trucks to salt the roads, pile them, or anything else like that, it does drive everything to a standstill.
Absolutely. We have a fleet of, several hundred trucks that are taking care of all that stuff.
And we've got volunteer firefighters in pickups.
Exactly. So in the spirit of our mission to be, what is it I say at the top of every show? inclusive and respectful for everybody. We do hope that the situation in Texas gets resolved as quickly as possible. It's not my favorite mini that I've ever done, but it'll do.
So much lead belcher.
What's that?
So much lead belcher.
Yeah. I mean, ditto for Oathwind Grey here. Need to patch up some black here that I made a mess with. Oh, it worked. So last week I was talking about the Sentinel Comics game that I'm running with my student and my niece. They ran through the Pool of Tears this week, which was based on the water temple from Majora's Mask, and they had an absolute ball.
That's good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. I still my favorite part, my favorite interaction so far though was when I introduced Guys in the Neighborhood Watch. Rory, my student. I shouldn't use their names. Anyway, one of them started laughing uncontrollably. The other one rolled her eyes so far I thought they were going to fall out of her head. Man, painting all these owls making me very excited to paint Talon. Alright. Patching complete, although... Yeah, I do. Try and clean up this paint can a little bit. Maybe not. Alright, whatever. We'll need it eventually. I'll do that later. I guess the next step then is Catachan flesh. Arcadian flesh, rather. Boy, that's a satisfying pop. Ooh.
So while my nephew and niece were over today, we'd ordered pizza for lunch and kind of asked them what they want, like if they wanted to watch something while eating.
Mm-hmm.
And they picked DuckTales.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that I had not quite finished my walkthrough, I did watch the first episode of the new DuckTales.
And
I usually I try to give 4 episodes before I fully make a decision on something.
Yep.
That's my general rule of thumb.
Yeah, I go with 2, but go on.
For the most part, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
There were some good callbacks to the original series. In that first episode, especially in the treasure room where they were the garage. Where they were looking at a bunch of the other stuff like that. 2 things that I vehemently do not like right now.
Go on.
Launchpad McQuack's voice.
It grows on you. I gotta be honest. I like it.
I'm sorry. I do not like it at all. And I do not like the complete reworking of Mrs. Beakley.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't care much for that either.
Faces.
Yeah. I like... I like the character of Launchpad so much that I was just like, okay, I can forgive it. But I see where you're coming from. For sure. And it does grow on you after a while. It's not just terrible always.
Yeah. And it's not just it's not just a me being it's different, therefore I don't like it.
No, yeah, it's very
I don't
different.
like it. They're turning it it changes his personality into this surfer bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what Launchpad is.
Well, they're trying to modernize it, I think.
Yeah.
And fine, whatever. I don't love it, but I'll, we deal, sort of thing. Yeah. So I see where you're coming from there, for sure. Oh boy. I'm a little sad that DuckTales is ending.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be one that lasted for,
Especially if they were going to try and start doing an actual relaunch of all of the other.
Yeah, like
actually things. It's like you keep going with the main one and you keep adding more to them.
right, you do what they did with Arrow and then kill it eventually, you know? Like DuckTales had the potential, I think, to be Disney's Arrowverse.
Yeah.
And specifically Disney there, not, you know, obviously they've got the MCU, but
Yeah.
and they've got, you know, Star Wars and all these other extended universe things, but like I think that's how you bring Mickey Mouse and you know, all these properties back together. Like, as much as we credit Disney with the creation of the cinematic universe as we know it via Marvel, it dates so much further. What?
Which was prior to Disney owning Marvel also.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, Paramount had it for a while and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, Disney did it way back in the day with Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, it wasn't at the detailed, like,
yeah,
immersive storytelling that it is now, but, like, it was still, by definition, a shared universe. And I've heard, you know, Kevin Smith talks a lot in interviews about, like, people come up to him and be like, oh, you know, Marvel's stealing your shared universe thing. And he's like, no, I stole it from them, you know, because they did it in the comic books first. And, you know, he's right, but, you know, that wasn't a thing. That sort of storytelling wasn't a thing until, what, the, you know, Silver Age of comics at least, right?
Yeah.
That's when you start seeing things like the Justice League and whatever.
And the Bold.
Yeah, exactly. And so you get, and even long before that, like Plane Crazy was what, 1926? I could be wrong there, but I think Disney was doing it first. RPD, can you fact check me? Are you still around? What year did Plane Crazy come out?
What's Plane Crazy?
Very first Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Okay. Not Steamboat Willie?
Predated Steamboat Willie by about a year. This, of course, the size and depth of my Disney knowledge is kind of showing at this point. I am such a ridiculous Mickey Mouse fan. And I have been pretty much my entire life. I'm the kind of guy who will sit, like, and I'll probably do this tomorrow, sit on YouTube and watch behind the scenes Disney parks DVDs or YouTube videos. And that's not just, you know, the engineer in me. That's the, like, I'm okay breaking this immersion if it tells me more about my favorite properties and how they, you know, interact with each other. Yeah, he's looking okay. Cool. Oh, what color dry brush to use on hair?
What color hair do they have?
Oh, brown. I just need to find Sylvaneth bark.
Goldfag. Yeah, Goldfag brown.
Goldfag?
If you got it.
No, I don't have the. No, I don't. I got Sylvaneth bark and I've got Gorthor brown. Either one of those will work. I'm gonna go with Gorthor. Oh, I promised I'd show my my current layer brush. It's this monstrosity.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Isn't the point of the
or
layer
base brush? Base brush. Sorry, base brush.
Detail?
Base brush, sorry. Misspoke. Okay. Oh yeah, that's working. Okay, cool. So I got my 5th and 6th graders doing pixel art projects this week.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, they're just recreating classic video game characters to start with, but I don't know if I'm going to get them to the point where they're doing original pieces or not. Just because that requires an insane amount of focus that I don't know that class like the student that I'm playing SCRPG with has that amount of focus, but the rest of her class does not. Alright, there's that. Alright. I'm gonna try out this new Praxetti white. White dry.
once again, I'm going to complain about painting after assembly. I should have painted before.
Tough place to get your brush. So we got the Winter Classic tomorrow. I can't believe it's already that point in the hockey season. Like, I know things are, like, accelerated and weird and stuff this year, but, like, it does not feel like we should be playing the Winter Classic already.
Yeah, a ton of everything's just been going on, so just everything just feels weird.
Yeah. I heard some report the pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. I'm like, alright. I'll take baseball, that's fine. Losing count of my minis here. Oh, shoot. All right. Ironbreaker. Assuming I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Well, it just fixed you. I think every time I bust this Ironbreaker out, I have to pick gunk out of the back of it. Really annoying. Paint boogers.
Oh, you want a greenish brown for that color.
Oh, God. That took me a second. All right. 1, 2. Three. And 4. All right, last bit of business to go on this guy will be Kislev Flesh. Kislev Flesh? No, that's weird. Don't say that. The highlight layer.
And you're booking.
Well, I mean, I already had them base coated, so.
True.
And inked. It always occurred to me, it always felt to me a little bit when I was reading the Court of Owls stuff that they were just a little bit bigoted. They just kind of... gave off that vibe, you know? Alright, that's 2 down. Just about. And 3.
Yeah.
Last one. Oh boy, there's a cat hair on my nose, and it's going to drive me crazy.
No fun.
Oh, shoot. Ow. Oh my god. Oh, that was that was the itchiest cat hair ever.
It's always when your hands are full and you can't do anything about
Exactly. Invariably.
Stay open.
And then it feels like even once you know you've got it, it feels like it's there forever.
Yep.
Alright, Terminata Stone, and we're done with these boys. Definitely not my favorite models I've ever painted, but they're alright. I mean, from a distance, they look pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with them from a distance, but up close you can start to see some of the flaws.
Now, I'd seen some people, when they make these Droidicas, they do some fancy little clear dome. They pop it over to do the shields, and I have no idea what to do about that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I respect that the Droidicas have the shield, but it's like, that seems kind of extra, don't you think?
Just a little, yeah.
Like, I know how you do it. You could do it with, like, a clear epoxy or something like that, and just use a blue contrast paint and it would come out fine, but it just seems like overkill to me.
Yeah. Plus, at that point in time, you're just adding something that makes it harder to see the actual model you painted.
That's a good point. Not that it's a terrifically complicated model, but it's still, like...
Yeah.
Alright. I think these Katana boys are done. Other than patching up their bases. Here they are. I'm reasonably okay with them. I think they're fine. Like I said, not the best models I've ever painted in my life, but they can't all be winners. Alright, where's that small base brush? We had a quiet chat tonight. That's okay.
So I made a very, very stupid mistake earlier this week.
Go on.
I had a light in my game room here
Yep.
that has been flickering for a long time. Like several lights in my house.
Mm-hmm.
But I wait until like it burns out before I replace it.
Naturally, I mean, yeah.
Because I'm lazy.
Well, I mean,
And I want to
sure.
make sure I get every last like bit out of whatever I pay for. Which I say pay for. I'm pretty sure that all of these light bulbs were still part of a giant box that I got for free from Duke Energy.
Yeah.
Still in South Carolina. But either way, they were mine, and I wanted to make sure to get the best out of them. So they both ended up dying finally, and I went to replace them this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I take the dome off of the ceiling fan. I like switch the lights out, and I like go to flip the light switch, and it doesn't work. I'm like, these are brand new bulbs. And I like go check other sockets, and I'm like, okay, wait, these are working. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
So like I start looking at it, and like I call my dad because me and him installed the ceiling fans and other stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and he's like, it may be a wiring thing. You may have to like take your fan down and like double check the wiring and all the other stuff like that. And so Like, I'm worried about it, but I was like, fine, I'll deal with that at some point in time. I'm not going to do it right now.
Sure.
But it came up later that evening. I was just thinking, I'm like, I wonder. I went up and like pulled the pull chain,
Oh no!
and apparently when taking the bowl off, I had like pulled the chain and triggered it, and turned off the light switch. And so,
Oh my god.
yeah, I felt like an idiot.
Well, you probably felt like a baboon.
Yeah.
Because we all have baboon moments from time to time. It's a fact of life. Alex just has them more frequently than others. Although you reminded me of a very go-to-bed joke through all that story.
What's that?
So, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in California, they have those cable cars, right? In San Francisco.
Yeah, in San Francisco, the trolleys.
Yeah. And there was a court case a while back where a gentleman, cable car conductor, or whatever you want to call him, well, he got himself into some trouble. He would frequently show up to work unfit to drive, let's put it that way. And he said,
what do you have to drive? They go on a track like straight in one direction.
Yeah. But like, you got to regulate the speed and stuff and stop at certain places and all that. So, finally his record catches up with him, and he ends up, killing a bunch of innocent people crossing the road because he fails to stop. And he gets sentenced to death, and they bring him in. They get him ready for the electric chair. Now, California statute says that if you survive the electric chair 3 times, it's considered cruel and unusual punishment, and you're released. You're a free man. So he. Sorry. The day of his execution arrives, and they strap him up to the chair, throw the switch, and nothing happens. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed a whole bit. I'm terrible at telling jokes here. Anyway, no, they go in, they ask him what he wants for his last meal. And he says, I'll have like a steak, medium rare, potatoes, and green beans, and I'll have some chocolate cake for dessert, and how about an avocado? And they're like, all right, that's a bit of an odd request, but sure. They go find it for him, and everything's all well and good. And he sits down, and they serve him the last meal, and they bring him in the next morning, strap him up, throw the switch, and nothing happens. They click it up and down a few times, and they conclude that everything's working fine, and still, no charge. So they bring him out. They set a new execution date, and they bring in a watermelon, strap it up to the electric chair, throw the switch, blow up the watermelon. Shards of watermelon go everywhere. Things are working great. And finally, the day of his new execution arrives, or the day before. So what would you like for your second to last, or your second last meal? And he says, it's getting on toward Thanksgiving at this point. Give me a turkey dinner, all the trimmings, the whole 9 yards, and make sure there's some good apple pie for dessert. I can hook you up with my mom's recipe if you want. And how about an avocado? And the avocado is rather out of season at this point. They have some trouble finding it, but they do. They ultimately find one for him, and he eats it, fine, whatever. And they bring him in the next morning. They've blown up an extra watermelon just to be sure, and they strap him up and throw the switch, and nothing happens. Click it up and down a few times, nothing. So they set a final execution date, and they're like, all right, we'll give it one more shot. Here we go. And what would you like for your third last meal? And he goes, oh man, you know what would be really good this time of year? It's getting on toward the holidays at this point. I would love, the ham that I used to have as a kid, the sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, all that stuff. Nice Christmas trifle for dessert, and how about an avocado? Well, the avocado is horrifically out of season at this point, just like miserably, completely unattainable. But they travel all the way down to Mexico before they finally do dredge one out, and they bring it to him, and he eats it all, and they bring him in the next morning. They've brought in a whole new electric chair. They've hired an electrician to test it out, make sure it's all good. Everything's working fine. They strap him up, throw the switch, and nothing happens. And so they bring him back to his cell. They're like, all right, we'll sign the paper. The mayor will sign the paperwork. You're a free man. Sorry about that. That's never happened before. And the mayor signs the paperwork, hauls him in, and says, yeah, just bring him into my office. I need him to sign some stuff, and I got to ask him a couple of questions. So they do it. They bring him in, and the mayor goes, nobody in the history of the state of California has ever survived the electric chair 3 times. I got to know, how did you do it? And the guy goes, well, I guess I'm just a bad conductor.
Go to bed.
Thank you.
That was an excellent subversion of expectations for a joke.
Right?
When the avocado layup and not using it.
Exactly. My uncle told me that joke actually in North Carolina, of all places, when we were lost on the Outer Banks, and he was trying to keep us from, we were super hungry, and there was nowhere, we had no idea where we were. We were out on Hatteras, and we'd never been down there before, and he was just trying to keep us distracted.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here, because the tie on these owls with tuxedos is red, I'm actually going to go ahead and paint, basically re-undercoat his shirt with white, so the red shows up a little bit brighter, and it also allows me the opportunity to get the white of his shirt taken care of too. RPD. So I have this idea, and I want you to come with me on this journey.
Okay.
The minis have, obviously their hands are holding guns. I feel like they should have white gloves on. What do you think?
Any particular reason?
What?
Any particular reason?
Just to hide fingerprints, sort of thing. Nobody wants you to know when they're in the Court of Owls.
It is a good idea. A bit Michael Jackson, but good.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with flesh tone here because there just isn't enough material there for it to show up properly. All right, next guy.
Why will these paint pots not stay open?
The struggle is real, yo. Slopped a little bit there. That's unfortunate. It's alright, it's fixable. So I did end up doing some rapid prototyping of a 3D printed mini of Zero this week on the filament printer at school.
How'd that turn out?
Well, I can't get the size right, and that's why I'm glad I'm doing it this way, because I don't want to print it in resin that's way too big. Like eventually, I would love to print the full model that I bought in resin and like do it up nice, but it's huge. It's like statue size.
Okay.
And I'm not talking like statue you'd find in the park. I'm talking like, you know, statue you'd order from Diamond Comics.
Yeah. Like a sideshow thing type thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a dope model. It's super cool. It's Zero sitting there with his two swords, with the sword and the Buster. The Buster vaporizing one Maverick and the Z-Saber cutting through another. And it looks amazing.
Zero is it?
What? Oh, it's Anime Zero. Or GBA Zero.
Okay.
My Zero.
Like for Mega Man Zero, not Zero for Mega Man X.
Yeah, correct. I do have one from Mega Man X also that is already the right scale for us to use for AOGS, but you know, my priority is my boy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, 3 done. These owls with handguns, they're laughably easy.
How so?
But they're just wearing black tuxedos. And they're already primed black. Like no work to be done. There's going to be a fair amount of detail, though. I mean, there's buttons and stuff on his jacket and things like that. So one of my good friends came into the store today, brought me pizza. That was nice.
That's always good.
Yeah. From the place we used to get pizza when we were kids. It's great. I haven't had their pizza in a long time. Alright, checking reference photos. Alright, Bugman's Glow is next. For the hand parts. Aggressively shake the Bugman's Glow. It's not aggressive enough, apparently. Even that wasn't a... Oh, hey.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. Like a boss. Jeez. Bugman's Glow may have had it. Plenty in there, it just won't shake. That's incredibly frustrating. Ah, RPD's got your back, Broody.
What?
He did the Null and Oil emote. Or his attempt at a Null and Oil emote. Which is just a recolored mayonnaise.
Yeah, I was toying with the idea of doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, sepia probably wouldn't show up too well. I could maybe do a Mornfang. But I think for the definition between like the plates and stuff, just going straight Null and Oil to hit those.
Yeah, I agree.
Points, in the like body and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. These guys look cool. Quite formidable, if I do say so myself. Tonight is not being conducive to you building things. How so, RPD? How can we help? Help me to help you. Help me to help you. Just can't seem to get enough paint on the brush today. It's probably too watery, but see what we can do with it. Yep, definitely too watery. A little better. That's a lot better. I was going to build the villain sheet for one of the practice villains for prospective challengers, but I realized I should probably hold off doing those until I have concepts for them. So, yeah, that's fair. The Mega Man Concerto for Piano. Seventh movement. Like, I'd estimate there's 5 or 6 of them, and I'd need to make a through line to hint at the fact that, well, they're all the same guy, just in different mental states. Ugh. That's... That's... sounds challenging, RPD. You mean that sounds difficult? No, I was going for the pun, man. Broody, for reference, his thing is called the Challenger Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Oh my god. Look who's here, everybody. Well,
hey, what's up? I am I'm not gonna stream, but I'm painting.
okay.
So
All right. So then
so
I
I figured I'd jump in and talk to you guys while I'm doing it. So.
Sure. So
If that's okay.
yeah, totally. I'm just trying to figure out how to reorder these stupid frames in Discord because right now. Oh, you know what? No, it'll. Yeah, this is fine. I need both hands for a minute.
I'm painting MODOK, and there's a lot of nonsense that's gonna go on with this figure. So
Sure.
because he's got like that jet propulsion coming out of the bottom of him.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm trying to, I'm going to be trying to glue some junk to the base to make it look like debris and trash is flying away.
Sure, that makes sense.
So
Dynamic.
yeah. And then I'm going to also put like I'm also going to put like a bunch of like burn marks on the ground, so it's
Nice. I'm going to cut to this one for just a minute and see if I can.
Did either of you guys test Aug's characters tonight?
No.
Nah, I was doing other things tonight.
Yeah. I never clean my palette. So responsible.
All right, well, Adam, you're just going to be Detour tonight.
That's fine.
You drew him after all. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
And now I think my music has gone away.
Yes.
Adam shows up and breaks everything.
Yeah, I know. Starting my life. Like all my streams lately have been like that.
Oh my god, dude, the Scott Pilgrim one was such a disaster.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard it was.
Oh my god, everything went wrong.
It was fun when we were actually playing.
Oh, it was great fun when we were in the 5 minutes we were actually able to play the game.
Yeah, it's a great game, but yeah.
I'm
Sounds like
almost done with it now. Just soloing it.
I haven't had time to touch it lately. But...
Yeah. Well, with 30XX dropping this week, my focus is entirely shifted. Like I haven't even done a Hades run. Usually I try to do a Hades run before bed, but I haven't even touched that. I've been like 30XX.
Oh, I get to use my my purple metallic that I picked up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got a few. I think I may have mentioned I got a few enamels.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the red and the gold for Iron Man.
Yeah,
he looks great as a result of that. But I also picked up a gunmetal. I got a purple for MODOK and for Green Goblin.
naturally.
And then I also got one that is a rubber.
Oh, cool.
So, like, hopefully I can use that on tires and stuff, and it'll make it look more rubbery. So,
Yeah. Speaking of rubber, have you guys seen that movie?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That movie is wonderful.
What movie?
Rubber? It's about a homicidal tire.
I know about Rubber. I've not seen it.
I was like, why are we watching this? I can't believe we're doing the Killer Tire movie. Okay, all right. And then we watched it. I was like, this is the best.
It's so wonderful. The local indie theater, which is probably the only place I'll go to see movies anymore post pandemic, it did for a while like Friday night extreme movies, and that's how they kicked it off, was with Rubber. And all my friends were going, so I was like, all right, sure, I'll do that thing. And that became like a staple of our weekend. Every Friday night we would be at the theater watching some dumb B movie.
So, got my Shooty Boys.
Shooty boys.
They're all inked up
Nice.
with their washes. Rolly and Shooty.
I like it.
Put it backwards. There we go.
And now I have to let those dry, so...
4 is going to be the death of me, I swear to God.
What is?
Oh, my son.
Oh,
He just likes to throw things, and they break when you throw them.
yeah, generally speaking.
So, but I'm not a fan of that.
My students call me out all the time because I have ADD. So I pick up markers and I play with them. And they're, it's kind of like the OG fidget spinner. So I'll like spin them in my hand and roll them through my fingers and stuff like that. And every once in a while, more often than not, I will drop one. And it will go skittering across the classroom and I'll just keep on going as if nothing's gone wrong. And they get on my case like, stop throwing markers at me! Although I was telling Broody yesterday, I was so proud of my second graders, because
3rd graders can take a hike.
yeah, 3rd graders get lost, but no, my 2nd graders, I made a really dumb joke, and every single one of them at exactly the same moment told me to go to bed. I was like, yep, I've taught these kids well.
Alright, well, we're trying this. Let's see how it works. Let's see. I've been using sand and rocks that I picked up at the dollar store.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And to mixed results.
Yeah.
But like that Loki one turned out really well. So I'm trying it. I'm trying some of that on MODOK too.
Nice. Oh, red. I needed red. And I think specifically corn red. Rudy, what do I do with corn red? I
What?
can't find it. Oh, I was just complaining. I can't find my corn red. Oh, here it is. Alright, let's do their bow tie or neckties.
Might not actually get to painting MODOK today. So I might be too focused on the base. Hopefully not.
So Paul scared me to death today.
My brother?
Yeah. I had his stream on at the store, and everything was going fine. And I walked away to cash out a customer. And then all of a sudden, his stream was offline. After, like, he had been away. Like, he said he put his Be Right Back screen up, and then all of a sudden, it was just nothing. And someone in the chat said, "Oh, I hope your wife's okay." After Paul had, about 45 minutes before that, said, "Oh, Chelsea's going to try out her new gun."
Oh.
She had a flat tire, turns out, but I was like, oh.
Right, but context.
Yeah.
We watched Midnight Run tonight, which is an old favorite of mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a new one. By
No,
any
no,
means.
No, but I watched that when I was. I probably watched that a dozen or so times when I was like 10 to 12. The TV edit, so I didn't know how many swears it had in it.
Oh.
But it's a 1988 R-rated movie.
Yeah.
So like by today's standards, it's super tame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like by today's TV standards,
Yeah.
super tame.
Yeah. What have I watched? I haven't watched much recently. I mean, I watched WandaVision yesterday, but
That was pretty rad.
yeah, I wasn't
Are
disappointed.
you talking about spoilers on here? Or?
We're not, because Broody hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm a slacker.
Okay, I was gonna try and say some things without spoiling, but I don't think I can. So
Well, I mean, you saw in Discord today that I got my fanboy moment because they canonized that one thing.
oh yeah.
Like up till now, I've been like, okay, this show's fine, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is the show that did it.
I've really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's fun. I was a little skeptical early on, but like it is incredibly notable how much more interesting Monica is than Carol. oh my god, right?
Like, what are you doing? I mean, it's
Every
always
customer
been-
that came in the store today was like, can we just have, Monica, Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
Carol? And I was like, please?
Yeah, can we please do that? I mean, most of it's like, I don't know, Carol's not a very interesting character to begin with.
Right.
But also Brie Larson's just a miscast. Like
I agree. I think
really
it's just...
badly.
And like, there are plenty of things that I like her in.
Oh yeah,
I just don't think
she's-
she belongs in our MCU.
she is. Well, I don't think she doesn't belong in the MCU. I don't think that she's
Well, as it
there.
stands. Right. Yeah.
Last weekend I just watched Kong Skull Island with Brie Larson in it, and was amused and enjoyed her performance in that.
Yeah, I like her in that movie. I love that movie.
That movie's great.
I love her in Room. She's outstanding in
Yes.
In what?
I did love when she got
that. Room,
as opposed to The Room.
right? Not The Room.
That's not,
Go ahead, Brittany.
I was saying that's not the same one with the Tommy Wiseau, right?
No.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. It's Room versus The Room. Shut up, RPD. RPD says, I agree, Brie Larson was great as Lisa.
Great as Lisa.
She was great as Lisa. And so you didn't even have to pay for that one.
Any of you see Free Fire?
Yes.
I enjoyed Free
yeah.
Fire so much with her in it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was really that great, but I don't really remember it much, but I remember not really liking it.
Thanks, RPD. Yeah.
I wish I could say more, but I don't remember it that much.
Right.
I mean, it's an entire 90-minute movie devoted to what is essentially what would normally be like a 10-minute action scene.
I guess so I'm a huge fan of Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen.
Yes.
That's a fun one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love that movie. And Smokin' Aces also.
Smoking
There's
Ace is so good.
and those movies have zero substance
Right.
to them, like at all. And I guess I was expecting like a little bit more because that's kind of the caliber of. I don't know, like caliber is the wrong word because those are not great movies. They're just fun movies.
Well, but it's the par. It's the
Right.
benchmark.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do. We're doing Star-Lord because some glue on MODOK has to sit and dry. It's PVA glue, so it's gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit.
Yeah.
I loved there was a bit in, I don't remember if it must have been Spider-Man Deadpool because I don't read Deadpool, or it could have been Uncanny Avengers, where there's a Christmas episode or Christmas issue where Deadpool gets Captain Marvel a copy of The Room instead of Room with Brie Larson. It's like the ultimate fourth wall break. And she says something to the effect of, "You know this guy's an alien, right?"
I would be completely unsurprised. Did you watch The Disaster Artist?
Oh, many times. Yeah. I've probably watched that more than I've watched The Room, which is saying something.
I mean, it's a better movie, for
It's
sure.
100% a better movie.
But, like, just weird happenstance from that movie.
Right?
Like, where does he get his money?
I mean...
But what's going on?
Well, you remember my buddy Doug. And I watched... The first time he watched The Room was with me. And he sat there for the whole movie. Like, we intended to drop the movie off and just let him and his wife watch it. And he said, he's like, "No, I need you to watch this with me right now." He sat there and, like, held me against the chair while he leaned forward and, like, what the hell is going on in this movie? And he's now just as obsessed with it as I am. And it's just like, yeah, all those questions came pouring out of Doug's mouth as soon as the movie was over. He watched like every YouTube documentary on Tommy Wiseau he could find.
Yeah, I had the privilege of my first time being at the theater in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the midnight shows that he does there.
Oh, wow.
Too, and there's like a ton of audience participation stuff. And it's crazy. I'm using way too much paint tonight.
They are Droidicause momentarily saying, "How's it going, man?" And these are owls. I'm all right. I did katana owls earlier. So I can get them on frame here. There they are.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty happy with them.
I didn't know next to nothing about that story.
I love that story. I mean, so that's the first Scott Snyder story.
That's the big one that
Yeah.
that's kind of what made it famous, right?
Court of Owls, yeah. And so I've had extensive discussions with him and Greg about it.
What's the gist of the...
Basically a secret society running Gotham from the shadows. Batman kind of exposes them, and they never really go away, and they're always kind of pulling the strings. They have this thing called the Talon, which is like a dead assassin that they can occasionally resurrect to do things like try and kill Batman. And then one of them goes rogue and like becomes a good guy and works with Nightwing a lot.
One of the Talon guys or a quarterback?
One of the Talons, yeah. He's like he's improperly frozen or something like that.
What's his name?
It's just Talon.
Oh. I see.
Yeah, he has a name too, but nobody cares.
Like what something Taylor Cobb?
What's it, Rudy?
I don't know exactly. Taylor Cobb, I'm pretty sure, was one of the
That might be it.
Talons. I don't remember exactly though.
I got you, RPD. Hold on. It reminds me of when I saw The Desire for Graspers. It was a tiny indie theater where After the movie, they had a Q&A with the guy who brought the movie to Denmark, and he did a mind reading from Wiseau's original script of a scene that didn't make it into the... Yeah, the original script is nuts. I've read that too. It's really weird.
One of my good friends was actually cast in his follow-up film. I think it's called The House That Dripped Red on Brad or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, he's so crazy and hard to work with that I left.
Mm.
I was like, no, nope.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the right call in that decision in that instance. So yeah, momentarily saying the Talons are a secret society within Gotham, sort of pulling the strings, making things happen that are dubious and bad.
What's their goal?
Control things.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
It's like nebulous. They control things. They've accumulated power and they're trying to keep it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That is, yeah.
Let's see.
They were the first, at least 12. Yeah, they were the first 12 issues of the New 52 Batman.
Oh, New 52. That's why I checked out. I was like,
I mean, so Batman was like the only good thing that came out of New 52.
I don't know if I said the only good thing, but
yeah, what didn't Green Lantern keep on trucking?
yeah, Green Lantern was consistent.
Aquaman was outstanding.
That Aquaman did have an awesome, just an amazing moment, where Superman was incapacitated for some reason, whatever, and
Hit points had to flip.
what?
Where the hit points had to flip.
Yeah.
Get it? Because that's... Yeah, you get it.
Yes, I get it. And so Aquaman marches into the Hall of Justice, or it might have been the Watchtower, I'm not sure, and goes, okay, so who's in charge? Nobody? Great, I am. Here's the mission, here's what we're doing, let's go do this thing. It was so cool.
I particularly like issue 1 of Aquaman
Mm-hmm.
with Jeff Johns, where it's like literally everything was like, hey, what are all the common misconceptions about the character?
Yeah, and you just put them all to
from-
bed.
Yeah, so it'd be like, why are you eating fish? You talk to fish. And he's like, no, I do not talk to fish. I telepathically control them. Like he stops the bank robbery, and it's like the bullets ricochet off of him because his muscles are incredibly dense from being underwater so much. And he flips there's a bank robbery, and they're like, oh no, there's a superhero here to stop us. And it's like, who is it? It's Aquaman. Ha ha, that guy's a chump. And then he just casually tosses the armored car over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Trident. And I'm like, so awesome.
Yeah.
I used
Yeah.
prior to New 52. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just... It's like the Super Friends is largely responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they basically just, segregated him for the rest of the heroes to do the underwater stuff.
Yeah.
But he... it seems like they're... with all the... With everything that they've done to get away from that, to restore the character to some semblance of coolness,
Mm-hmm.
they're in danger of losing that again with the new effing cartoon that they're putting
Yeah, that design looks terrible, and it's for it to be James Wan is still associated with it too, which just seems weird. After
Yep.
doing them,
Sorry, I realize this is making for really boring television, but I'm picking dried paint out of the lid of a paint can. It's because it won't close.
Yeah, you're supposed to only be using wet paint right now and letting it dry.
Well, it already has dried.
We watched it dry.
We watched it dry.
Well, then you should do this between episodes so you could watch something else dry this time.
Well, we're good. Everything's fine.
That's the name of your show, get it?
Yes, I get it, Adam. Ironically enough, like, I had very little to do with the naming of the show. It was actually you two that came up with... Broody came up with the name, and Adam did the artwork for it.
It's a very clever name, honestly.
It really is.
I don't really even do much. I just, like, put some glints on a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a lot more for the Gears of War one.
Yeah, that was a lot more difficult.
Yeah, All-Star Western had some good moments in the New 52 also. Demon Knights...
Is that Etrigan?
It's Etrigan, yeah.
I'm a big Etrigan fan.
I like Etrigan quite a lot. Adam, I think I found at the store, I found first appearance of Etrigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was digging through our, like, really high-priced stuff today.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Broody earlier, I got my quarterly update on how much store credit I have.
Yes.
It's basically yes. I'm seriously considering buying New Mutants 98.
Oh, wow. I have New Mutants 98.
Yeah.
I got it for very cheap.
Yep.
I got it for, I think, $10.
Oh, nice. That's very cheap. Indeed.
Yeah, because no one knew who the fuck Deadpool was. No one knew who Deadpool was.
Right.
At the time.
Yep.
Just like,
Oh, it happens. Jacqueline, who is the lord of, or the lady of languaging people, let one out yesterday, and we all came crashing down on her. It was really funny. She was getting very frustrated because two Trapped in Arkhams in a row, she got stuck in a situation where her character had done all that was possible to do.
mm-hmm.
And the correct play was to let someone else, take the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I sitting here with an open... Ah!
Yeah, I got that. I got Uncanny 244 for $20.
Nice.
Like this was early aughts. No one cared at all.
Right.
You know?
I mean, that's when I was getting most of my best Daredevils, is early aughts.
Yeah.
What was the that X-Men one you mentioned?
The first appearance of Gambit.
Yep.
Oh, 266?
Oh, 244 is Jubilee. I have that.
That's
one
Jubilee, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yes. I meant 266, yes.
Yeah, I picked that one up like when I was in high school. Yeah, for about $20.
Yeah. How old are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
32.
Boy, just a kid still.
Coming up on 33
Adam, we're
right
not
now.
that much younger than you, man.
I'm gonna be 37 this year. That's depressing. So old.
You're not that old.
Yeah, I can hit 40 from here with my spit.
That conjures up a very strange image. So basically, once you go back to board game podcasting, anyone can request almost anything, and you'll just go, sure, I'll fetch it from the store, more or less. Our store's not big enough for me to be able to do that, Broody. Sorry, RPD. I don't know why I said Broody. Oh, because Broody's in front of me. Yeah, most of the stuff that we have on the shelf is either evergreen, greater than games, or it's either GTG or Fantasy Flight, and everything else is by order.
That was really nice.
Because those are the games that get played at the store. I guess the only other one that's not those two companies is Terraforming Mars. We did finally get our shipment of RPG Core rulebooks in.
Oh, you did?
Yep. And 50% of them are already sold out after me making... And that's just the ones we got for the shelf. Like, all the pre-order ones still have to be picked up, too.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty nice looking book.
My god. I got... Well, so part of what got shipped to the store was my deluxe copy.
Yeah.
So, when next it is safe to visit you, I will have that with me for you to sign. Oh, I thought you meant that just kind of in general RPD.
Do you have a favorite art in there?
I have a lot of favorite arts. I mean, the ones that I tend to like more than the others are the ones that you show me before they're out. So Fry and Zoidberg, like, I love that one so much.
That one's great. I also like the ones that I really like are I needed like a Spider-Man type,
Yeah.
and so I did like that slime guy,
That one was so cool.
which I really like. I like the Spawn guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also like there's like a Mexican girl that's like
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
a super LA Chola type
Yes.
that has like, giant Mayan gauntlets.
Yes, I loved that one. That was
Yeah.
super cool. Man, I think base coating is actually already done on this guy, on these guys. Because they're all black. They're just wearing black. So, inking, I guess. Let's go.
That is what I used.
But yeah, the fact that I'm running a very guys-centric story right now makes me so excited for the guys book.
There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Trevor and I were recording our podcast the other day, and we had to do like 3 different takes because we're like, do people know that the guys book is next? I ended up just texting Christopher.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
We mentioned it on this show
Yeah.
also this week's.
Oh, nice.
Which I have to draw a cover for that. Yeah.
Yes, and I've got, I mean, barring 1 hour for therapy, I've got the day off, so I will be definitely hanging out in your chat the whole time.
I'll just skip therapy.
That's not
What
wise.
is really like how important is mental health?
I gotta spend the rest of the day logging recertification paperwork, so your stream will be a welcome break from that.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna do 2 streams on Monday.
Oh, you're gonna do the Zelda one too?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Zelda at night.
Nice. I probably won't stay around for the whole thing, knowing that we have to stay up, or that I will be staying up late by my standards on Wednesday night when we do 30XX. But
Yeah.
I will stay around for some of it, certainly. Because I do enjoy watching you play Zelda. Are you still working through Zelda 1, or are you done with that at this
I
point?
finished Zelda 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually have the VODs up of that.
Oh,
I put a
fantastic.
collection together.
Fantastic. I started a playthrough of A Link to the Past a long time ago and never finished it because other things came out that were more exciting to me. Like, I love A Link to the Past so much, but that's when I started to sort of realize like what games I am best at streaming.
Yeah.
And that tends to be games with very, like, not deep plots, but like interesting plots. So like the Batman Arkham games have been so much fun to stream because I can sit there and talk about comics and lampoon the goofiness of the plot.
Points for using Lampoon.
Yeah, thank you. But I will finish A Link to the Past at some point on stream because it is such an amazing game.
Perfect. Oh my god, that's gonna be. I need to remember that combination. That polished leather lantern yellow is basically perfect for it's. I'm using it for Star-Lord's hair right now.
Sure.
But Legacy's hair once I get that.
Yeah, I actually picked up a commission to do the Sentinels characters, the like the core minis, the 6 as Transformers characters, or as Transformers specifically. So I'm like, it's a recoloring scheme, and I picked up the core minis for myself as well, so I'll be painting those as well, just like normally. But those are my core set is gonna be in a diorama in my library.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The principal already gave me permission to do it because, like, I have a group that plays SCRPG in the library.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to those and to modding Oggs.
Yes. Well, so I mean, you saw the... No, maybe you didn't. I've been doing a bunch of rapid prototyping for Zero models for Oggs.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, so like the first one I did was way too big. The second one I did was a little bit too small.
Where are you getting your model?
Sorry?
Where'd you get your model from?
I bought it from some 3D printing website.
Okay. And it's pre-posed?
Yes, but it's in a really rad pose. The whole model that I bought has like 2 Mavericks and stuff on it. Or Maverick infested Reploids. And Zero's like sawing them or cutting them in half.
Oh, wow.
And it looks great. And then he's on like this weird platform and stuff. And I can actually pinpoint exactly where it's from in which game, but that's because I'm a giant nerd. So that's all cool, but it doesn't really work for what we're trying to get accomplished. So I just cut him out and isolated just his models. And I think it'll work eventually. Like I don't have it there yet. But the pose is really good. I was also talking to our store's biggest Usagi Yojimbo fan today, and because he's seen all the files as well. He backed the Kickstarter, and I said, Zero plays a lot like Yojimbo, or Usagi rather, and he was all about it. So I hope that it'll be interesting to see where our whole project goes.
Yeah. I think that we're ultimately going to have to build up our own mod, like that's separate from the official one.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the case. But like with, between me and Greg and Chamali, we've built numerous mods at this point.
Yeah.
So
the only real thing that we're missing for doing that is tiles, is like map tiles.
Right. And I have some ideas. I there's some software that I've used in the past that might work for that.
Yeah. I have I found you can download the HeroClix ones. And in terms of like scale of items on the map, it's the same. Like a card takes up 2 spaces.
Right.
I think that they're like a little bit different size, but that doesn't matter in Tabletop Simulator.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we can resize as necessary. We made a Chamali and I made a decision on the. I think you saw this at this point, but we made a decision on the Mega Man stuff to give it all a consistent card back, whether it's X, Zero, Battle Network, whatever it is. It's still gonna have the classic Mega Man logo on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
To encourage crossplay.
Well, I don't know that anyone other than us will ever play it. So
Exactly. Remember the old plan to bring Sentinels to whatever front we could? I mean, on some level, RPD, like, we all live and breathe Sentinels so much. Adam more than the rest of us.
Don't think I'm not.
Sorry?
I don't think I'm not using the Arcane Wonders minis to.
Oh my god, no, they will absolutely appear in AOGS at some point.
Yeah.
But like there is a line to be drawn, you know, we are fans together of so many things. You know, comics in particular, but also like there's a reason that Adam and I are streaming 30XX this week because we're giant Mega Man fans. You know, we have to allow ourselves to indulge our other obsessions as well.
Yeah, I'm a huge Nintendo fanboy. I'm just like,
yeah.
I did long ago. I started doing like a Kingdom Hearts toned comic.
Oh, cool.
That was Nintendo.
Nice.
That was like, but it was like a serious Nintendo.
Did you ever?
Not quite Brawl.
Hmm.
Not quite Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Right. Yeah. There was like the Subspace Emissary story.
Yeah.
Yeah. That had the tone that I wanted. I was a little too edgelordy at the time.
Okay.
Because I was in what you call it?
Oh, that's cool, Birdie.
Yeah, so I got
College.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
He does to like I wanted to do the more realistic, like Nolan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of like green with yellow, I used Xandri dust.
Yeah.
As the tan suit with like the green shirt and scarf. Then just did the sepia to give it a more yellowy than a brownish.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let those dry and go back to the Droidicos.
Nice.
Adam, did you ever watch? There was a series on The Escapist called There Will Be Brawl.
No.
It was basically exactly what you've just described. It was like serious Nintendo, gritty, grimdark.
Yeah, this was Peach, like the instigating incidents, or instigating event, was Peach was like, "I'm sorry, Mario. We're done," and he's like, "Okay, well, I have no reason to stay in the Mushroom Kingdom. Then I'm leaving."
Oh, Mamma Mia! I have no reason to be here.
So Mario left, and Luigi was like, "Mario, you can't leave. Like, we have to protect these people." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I just can't stay here any longer." And then shortly after he leaves, Bowser kills Luigi.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Brutal.
that's how I started it.
That's
then,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Squeegee deserves it, so.
Man, Luigi gets so much flack. I like Luigi.
Yeah, I like Luigi too.
I do too. I'm just kidding.
I pretty much always play Luigi when given the option.
Well, Luigi was the honorable one in the story. He stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mario flaked out when. But so yeah, then it was like Bowser was able to open the pathway between realms and um, recruit Ganondorf and Andross,
Oh, nice.
all that stuff. Mother Brand, but like one of like there was a few that I really liked. Um, hold on. There's a few that I really liked that were like, um, I had DK was kind of like Beast,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit that like he was like super smart and but then I also had like Ganondorf wanted more power than Bowser was willing to give him,
Mm-hmm.
and so Bowser like betrayed him and like cut him out. So
Mhm.
like Link and Ganondorf in the story end up forming an uneasy alliance.
Oh, cool.
Like, yeah, this is so cool. But then I was like, the one that I was like really proud of is that like is that I was like, okay, well, how do I do this one? And I wrote this whole like Lovecraftian backstory about how like there's this civilization and they observed the stars, and one day a star fell to Earth, and with it brought devourers, and they ate everything.
Oh, cool.
And they were called the Dreamlanders.
Okay.
And that's what I did with Kirby.
Of course.
Yeah. But that was an edgelord.
Well, I mean,
It was like you gotta have Dark Kirby.
Dark
Right.
Kirby. Oh. So we were doing our issue recap after the Great Bay Temple mission that I sent my players on the other day,
Yeah.
and I asked, what was your favorite moment, and my niece goes, so I fell in the water near the Octorok. What would have happened if Hedgelord didn't get me out? I said, well, you would have drowned in a whirlpool. So, I don't know, I just had to... I don't know where I was going with that. Probably reminded just because you said Edgelord a lot. RPD wants to see your dark reboot for the Ice Climbers.
It's a Donner Party survivalist.
Oh my god.
There's only one. That's just off the top of my head.
That sure is edgelordy.
I think I'm a child of the '90s. I think you underestimate my ability. I can be completely in your face and with altitude. Oh, I'm surprised that worked. Okay, so we're waiting on that. So we can go leather bits now. That's fine.
Leather bits.
Yeah. I started. I had like. Yeah, I have a bunch of these, and I was I was doing the same thing with all the ground for
Mhm.
like Captain America, Spider Man, etc.
Yeah.
And I at one point just decided, you know what, I'm gonna do something different for like anyone that's not normally a city hero.
Yeah.
So like I started with Thor, and I gave him like gold. It's just like gold pavement, and that's it.
Sure.
For like Asgard. But then like yeah, I did Loki like the snow, and
Yeah, that came
I
out so good.
glued a bunch of rocks and stuff to Star Lord. So I'm gonna do like a purple ground here and maybe add like some like of the bland grass to it. So it looks a little alien. I've been hesitating on doing Hela because I want to add some stuff with I want to use green stuff and like add some more fire on
Mhm.
there, and um and then like kind of have the ground splitting open a little bit and make it look like she's from Niflheim
Yeah. I like
or
that.
Helheim or whichever. I
I
don't know. They have
think
so many times.
I think my Crisis Protocol minis are all going to have very similar bases. But like, yeah, you're right though. Like, certain characters just doesn't make any sense
Alright.
for them to be. I mean, well, like, sure they'll operate out of the city if they have to, but in a vacuum,
all
they're
the
probably not
space-
going to be.
I mean, just do something simple. Just like all the space ones, put them on purple ground.
Yeah.
Or
Well, what I
like-
might do is get some 40k bases, just empty ones,
Oh sure.
and then I can use the technicals to pull it out that way.
Well, there's also like some of these have they have like those big metal panels on the
Mhm.
ground
Yeah.
that you can probably pretty easily convert those to like spaceship type things.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know.
Oh, remember the other day you were asking me what kombucha tastes like?
I was asking you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I started drinking it, and now I can't stop. It's delicious.
What does it taste like?
It's kind of like, so the stuff that I get is like flavored with like natural juices and stuff. So this one I'm drinking right now is pressed ginger and kiwi.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so the ones that I like tend to be very, very, very ginger forward. But other than that, it's just fermented tea.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I do like ginger.
yeah. The ones that don't have a lot of ginger, I don't tend to care for quite as much. But yeah, RPD says our product placement. Yeah, GT's kombucha, not a sponsor. But Dave, let's talk. I find that like I've been sleeping better when I drink this on stream as opposed to when I drink soda. So I mean, I guess that makes some amount of sense.
I stopped drinking caffeine after after the afternoon. After I run out of coffee in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's a little better.
Does it cure what ails you? No, that's Moxie, man.
I'm so worried that I won't get to buy the rest of the Crisis Protocol minis that I need.
Why's that?
Like that, just like I won't get to it.
Oh.
I don't have a lot of disposable income right now.
Fair.
Trying to get out and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I'm worried that they'll be out of print, or
Yeah.
because I don't want to just have Star-Lord and none of the other Guardians.
Yeah, I hear ya. The one I'm looking forward to right now is Deadpool. That mini looks sick.
Yeah, I want Thanos.
Oh, the Thanos one is dope.
Yeah, that's a $50 mini though.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had it in my cart and been like, I could just do it. I could
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, my boss isn't getting the Crisis Protocol minis in unless I ask for them. Because we don't have a following for it right now. We're like, I mean, it came out, or it became more popular over the lockdown with people who already had it, you know.
Right.
And I happened to pop out to Jetpack, or the other store, long enough to go get a copy, and then that was about it.
And bases.
Oh, sick! The Geonosis base.
Oh, nice.
Great idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing all of my Chrono War stuff as if they're on Geonosis.
That's pretty cool.
I got flesh to do. Almost forgot it. That's too much.
Are those Fantasy Flight system?
Yeah, the Legion.
Yeah. I was very close to adopting that.
It's so when I'm working behind the counter, there is a wall of Legion stuff directly opposed from me, and it is everything I can do to stay my hand, because I know if I buy, like, I want to buy Sabine and the Clan Ren, so just to have a bunch of Mandalorians kicking around, and I know. Sorry.
The whole Crew of the Ghost.
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah, right now Sabine's the only one on from the Ghost that's like in Legion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Although Agent Callus is coming soon, except he's in Imperial.
I want Kanan.
I do too. I'm glad I have the whole set of them from the Imperial Assault at least.
I really wanted, like, we got Imperial Assault for work.
Oh, yeah.
The office, and someone took it to a bar to play it and left the hero minis there. So it has no hero minis.
Why do I have distinct feelings as to who someone is?
Well, you can guess, but I won't tell you if you're right.
No, and I won't.
You definitely know who it is now.
It wasn't me.
No, I know it wasn't you. But yeah, and then like I was kind of mad at him about that a little bit, because he also like clearly didn't like it that much once he played it.
Yep.
And so like there was no real incentive for him to like ask about them or anything.
Right.
To try and get them back.
Oh God.
And like that bothers me. Like I don't throw away anything. I don't throw away the inserts for boxes unless I have something to replace them with.
Yep.
That is not how he works at all.
Right.
He will trash that stuff immediately.
Yeah. Well, so the reason that I've been able to stay my hand on buying the Star Wars stuff, Legion, is our last copy of Boba Fett got sold. I'm like, well, if I'm just gonna sit here and buy a bunch of Mandalorians and not have Boba Fett, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, that's true.
And we still do have Broody wants it. I know this, but of course so do I. There's a Luke Skywalker Hoth costume. Like, I don't know if it was a promo or just a variant or something.
Yeah, it's a promo. They've been releasing like yearly like Gen Con things. So like the first year that they did it, they had like a Vader
Oh,
and the
okay.
second year was the Obi-Wan Kenobi alternate sculpt,
Right.
because that was also the year that they debuted like the Clone Wars set.
Okay.
And the Luke was supposed to be this past year, but obviously Gen Con didn't happen, so
Right. So we still have one on my boss's desk, and it's $80. And I'm like, I could just buy that. But also it's on my boss's desk, so I know he'll notice if I take it. My boss is like he is not as adept at painting as the rest of us. So like he has this pile of Wookiees on the counter that he like won't put in the display case because I think he knows that they're not as good as the ones that Joff and I put in the case. And he's like, well, I painted these with the contrast paints and they look great. I'm like, okay. And like Han Solo, he painted with the contrast and it has this giant brown stain on his neck.
God. I am very fortunate that I'm married to who I am married to. Because she will tell me something doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like I painted Vision,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, what do you think? She's like, honestly, it looks really sloppy in the cave. I was like, okay.
That's fantastic. I think my wife is starting to get to that point too, because she's seen me do a really good model, and she's seen me sort of half-ass a model.
Yeah.
And you're right, it is quite nice to have that immediate critic who is willing to be honest with you.
Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is kind of a tough model, honestly, the Star-Lord one.
Mm-hmm.
His cape and stuff, or his coat, is just like in a really bad place. It makes it difficult to paint.
Yeah. I was definitely having some troubles like that with both the Gears minis and the Brutality minis.
Yeah. I actually like painted part of his cape before I glued it because of that. It was like that bad. I usually don't.
he's smart.
Hmm?
I was just complaining earlier about me. I should have painted some of these droidicas, some before I assembled them,
Oh yeah.
because I always make that mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are fine, but like his foot just like collides with his cape in a really inconvenient place, and so like I painted the inside of it before I attached it. Like, and normally I wouldn't either because like it's not that visible a lot of the time. So you can kind of just slather paint in there before anything else and then clean it up. But this time, like, it is really visible. Like you can clearly see the inside. It's just very difficult to get a paintbrush in there.
Mm-hmm. My thing with when I get new models, I'm like, ooh, new thing, must glue. Like I get super trigger happy because I know I'll know it's going to be a while before I paint it.
Yeah, I haven't glued Doctor Strange together for that reason. I haven't glued Wong yet either. Wong has like Doctor Strange has like a huge magic thing on there.
Right.
And you can actually order transparent ones that people have 3D printed that are just replacements for that piece.
Oh, that's cool.
So I might do that.
Well, if you can get us the file, either one of us has 3D print can print and clear.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I get clear resin. That's what comes with it. It's sort of it's a green translucent.
Oh well, that would be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
or like I guess red or orange would be better, but like it doesn't really matter. But Wong also has like magic thing that he's like standing on,
Yeah.
and I want to try and mod that so he's not, because like in the comics Wong doesn't really do that.
Yeah, that's not his jam.
The MCU he does.
What's that?
In the MCU he does.
Yeah, in the MCU he definitely. But like these are also not MCU figures.
Yeah, they're
but they
definitely
kind of
comics
are.
figures.
But
They're
like
hybrids.
yeah, Star-Lord is MCU Star-Lord. Valkyrie is comic book Valkyrie.
Right. It's very inconsistent in that way.
Which I honestly would have rather movie Valkyrie, because like she's just more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the sort of vagabond that all the Valkyries are dead, and
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Edgelord.
Yeah. Yeah. You got me.
I was actually just watching the scene where Thor finds the sword. That whole interaction with Hulk or with Bruce Banner and Loki is a riot.
Okay.
This could be a giant mistake.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Do you guys watch? Do you watch any of mini YouTube?
Not really.
Of what?
Minis, like making minis on YouTube.
Oh,
Mini painting YouTube. Yeah.
I've watched. You shared it with us a while back. He does like the terrain stuff.
Black Magic Craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. There's another guy named Ninjon that's really good. That talks a lot about tools and stuff like that. And then there's one called Miniac. That usually those guys do a little too much like Warhammer for my taste.
Mm.
Because I paint very differently than most people who paint minis.
Yeah.
Because I paint exclusively superheroes.
Right. Yeah, I'm having to learn like a whole bunch of new techniques for these guys. Like there's similarities certainly, but like I want these guys to look like they walked off the comic book page.
Right. And like the key to that for me has been bright colors, minimal washes, like don't cover things up that much.
Yeah.
Let the lighting of the figure carry it, so like I don't shade the figures very much.
Right. And I mean, of course, I'm doing modern age Batman, so it's a little bit darker, a little bit more leaning on the ink washes and stuff.
Yeah. I basically just do a flat coat and a wash, and then like I'll dry brush some if I want anything to pop, but like I learned with that Reaper Learn to Paint set, which I highly recommend. It's it teaches you very well.
Oh yeah, it's great. We've been selling a bunch of them, honestly.
And for the price, it's like it gets you started really well.
Yeah.
And it also like gives you some minis that you don't like super care about screwing up.
Yeah. You know, the way I just screwed up this guy's face.
Exactly like that.
But RPD, get that emote ready because Null and Oil to the rescue. Totally just brought it back.
Talon in a can.
It really is. RPD has modded my stupid Gears of War Mayo emote to be a can of Null and Oil by turning it black and white.
That needs a good mixing.
Okay. Honestly, it's a very forgiving hobby.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of surprising. I used to be afraid of it.
So many people are, and it's just like, no, just do it, man. It's so...
Once you just start doing it, it's 90% of it's just pulling the trigger,
Mhm.
and really, like, that's what's really the best thing about that Reaper set is that
Yeah.
it gets you to pull the trigger.
Citadel has a couple too. They've just come out within the last couple months that have been really good deals.
Yeah.
There's one for
I
Space
got
Marines
the
and
Citadel sets that was like one set for bases, one for washes, layers, and dries.
yeah,
You get all you spend and get each of the 4 sets. You get a ton of paints for them.
exactly.
Yeah, when it's time to restock, I might do that.
Well, I mean,
I got like the Ultimate Reaper set, and so
Yeah.
it came with like, I think it was like $40 and came with 60 paints or something
oh
like
my
that.
god, that's a good steal.
Yeah, I got it on sale too.
Yeah.
So like, it was just insane. Let's add a little bit of different color to that.
So I did this short film basically highlighting the building renovations that have happened at our school this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a goofy, dumb parody of Dude Perfect, starring a couple of my students.
I don't
And
know what that is.
they're sports trick shot YouTube
Oh, okay.
that the kids all love, and they're like over the top and obnoxious, and it's actually quite entertaining. I watch it also, because it's like, oh, holy moly, there's something on YouTube that's actually wholesome and not offensive in any way. That's kind of cool.
Watch lots of wholesome, non-offensive things on YouTube.
Okay, something wholesome and not offensive that the students are into.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and the principal was like, "Oh, this is really good. How did you write the script?" And then blah 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 blah, the whole thing. And one of the teaching assistants was like, you make movies too? I'm like, yeah, that's what my formal training is in. And she goes, oh my God, you do everything. Which got us down the rabbit hole of my short films that I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
We found my Batman parody, where Batman and the Joker enter into a slap bet with each other, a la How I Met Your Mother.
Mm-hmm.
And hilarity ensues. But it's just maybe miss making those films.
Yeah, I miss making movies too.
All right, one more layer of flesh, and these guys are good to go.
Oddly enough, what they say also when they're torturing people. Right? Because
Yeah.
they're bad guys.
Yeah. And now I'm remembering the torture movie that we made in college.
I don't even know about that.
That was basically we were studying special effects or like practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
And our assignment was to make a movie using practical effects, and our director that year decided he wanted to do a torture movie.
Cool.
It was
sounds like a neat guy.
well, let me put it this way, I haven't heard from him since then. That was a movie. Our rap party was homemade moonshine.
Yikes!
Yeah, that was an interesting year.
I've had homemade moonshine one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm having it again.
Yep. Same. More often than not in film school, like when we were all like toiling away in the editing mines, we had this like janky broken couch that we would all sleep on in a pile. I'll never forget the day that my digital arts professor walked in, saw us all, like we'd wrapped production, wrapped editing, everything was done. We submitted it, and all of us fell asleep in a pile, and he walked in, turned on the lights, saw us all sleeping in a pile, and was like, nope, good night, and turned off the lights again, walked out the door.
Man, that makes me miss high school theater. That was
Right.
What we after long rehearsals or on show weekends or stuff like that, or we'd like there'd be like between 10 and 20 people from the production at my house, and we'd just like put on a movie and just all fall asleep in the living room, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. I lived that life too.
So, I've never been that tired.
No.
Ever.
I was a backstage person for theater because I was afraid of the director. Like, she was a terrifying human being. But
The same torture one?
no, our high school drama teacher was. She worked on Broadway for quite a long time, and then somehow ended up in Hopkinton, New Hampshire. Nobody really knows how or why. And she
They all do
was just evil.
They all do that.
Yeah. You know.
They're all like, well, all right, I'm now 40 and done with Broadway forever, so I'm going to go teach theater anywhere else.
Yeah. So suffice it to say, the stage crew was all afraid of her. We would get our marching orders and then go off and do it. And as long as we got it done on time, she never bothered us. So at least she was trusting in that way. Because we were a bunch of Star Wars fan screw-ups from the engineering classes. Well, I think these These owls came out way better than the first batch. But not that the first batch is bad. I'm just quite fond
What do
of
you
the...
guys do? What do you use for shading whites?
So that was... Yeah. That's what I did with this guy. I did gray, Nuln Oil, and then white. That was my layer process for that. So I started with Celestra Gray, and then Nuln Oil, and then I went to Ulthwan Gray, which is basically just white.
Okay.
Depending on the situation, sometimes I'll, like, instead of doing like a full coat wash, I'll try and just do like the really focused into the recesses with Nuln Oil over the standard white. The other option is sometimes I'll use blue, like a Drakenhof Nightshade.
Nightshade for the win! Love that color.
So, here's Raish. Washed, highlighted, and blue on.
Nice. Oh, he looks great, man. I love the scarf.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a nice touch.
Yeah,
Obviously.
it looks great.
So, I don't know about you, Broody, but I've run out of miniatures to paint for the night.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, it was an absolute joy hanging out with all of you tonight. Broody, Adam, thank you so much for joining me. This is definitely the highlight of my week for many, many reasons. I will be back tomorrow on the Handelabra Games channel doing Tales from the Archive at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and I will be on the Ryugami-san channel doing This Is Difficult podcast at... What time do we do that, Adam? Is that...
8, right?
8 your time, right? So 9 my time. Anyway, and at I believe Wednesday at about sometime in the 10 o'clock Eastern Time hour, Adam and I will be here doing 30XX. So definitely turn in for that. And back to the regular schedule of Zach Sucks at Games Thursday, and we'll be back for more of this on Saturday. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Bye.
Later.